We are now connected. We're working. Just plug this in. Connect this up here. Actually, before I carry on, I need to go and get myself my fish fingers. I'll be back in a second. So let me just get my fish fingers. Oh gosh. Oh god. Hi Michelle. What? Hold on. Where's my microphone? Hello Michelle, and hello to the coal face. Sorry about that. I literally forgot that I just put some fish fingers in the air fryer. I was just making myself a fish finger roll. It's like 4 fish fingers in there. I completely forgot that it was just running, and as soon as I pressed live, like it went, and I was like, I don't want to waste, I don't want to waste them. So yeah, just gonna have a quick hot. Mm. 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 So I just muted the mic there because it's not nice to hear all that. But I needed to take a bite. Hey Lisa, fish. It depends how where you are on the socio-economic ladder. If you're where I am, fish definitely have fingers, and you can buy them frozen in a packet. But obviously, it's kind of like when we have tuna. Like when I think of tuna, I think of tuna flakes and things in a can. But some people think of tuna and they think of those nice big, tuna steaks. I'm like, I can only dream of that. I mean, tuna steaks is quite another thing. I've had tuna steak, but it is definitely only when they reduce them. When they're about to go off, and they've reduced them at the supermarket. I might grab one then and do a bit of a tuna steak. But like, that's the expensive stuff. So um, you tuck in, kid. It looks great. Says the cold face. Thank you, the cold face. It was really nice. It's got loads of tartar sauce on it. It's basically like a budget filet o fish. So yeah, thank you though. Um, One of the strangest live streams, Z stuffing his face with a fish finger bat. Hey Barry, how are you? I'm not going to sit here and eat the rest of it. I might take the odd. Did we change it up from chicken burgers to fish burgers? Hey Susie, no, I still love chicken burgers. Absolutely love them. But I currently don't have any like chicken burgers. I've not been to Macro in a while because I like to get the wholesale chicken fillets. But no, I also like, I like beef burgers. I like fish burgers. I like chicken burgers. I think the thing to note there is I like burgers in general. So yeah, it's the filling. The only burgers that I think that I'm not that bothered about, or funnily enough, are like the vegetable ones, like the veggie burgers, as it were. Like I tried the McPlant, didn't think a great deal about the McPlant. I wouldn't have it again. So I've had that. I'm not really big into veggie burgers. I also like, when you grill halloumi and make like a halloumi burger. I like those as well. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm still a big fan of chicken burgers. Just so you know, Susie. Um, I'm also currently suffering from phlebitis, which is like a sore vein. I've got sore veins because I get cramps. Some of you guys might know. So I've got like one of those horrible compression stockings on. I've got really sore veins. Apparently it's to do with clotting in your outer veins. So hopefully that's just where any issues are, because obviously you don't want them in the deeper veins. I had air fried salmon earlier. I feel rich now, says Michelle. You should feel rich. I mean, salmon. Well, I mean, actually, I don't know. Salmon. It depends. Salmon. Yeah, I suppose salmon counts kind of fancy. Like I said, when I think of fish, I think of fish fingers. And I think of tuna chunks in tin cans. So if you're having like salmon, like fresh salmon, that's pretty fancy. I mean, I like salmon, like smoked salmon as well. I have that with a bit of cream cheese. So I would do partake in a bit of that. Um, I just learned I like fish. Started eating it. Surprising how much I like it, says Lisa. I love fish, but the weird thing is, my family are not big on fish. I like, for example, you can get some really nice fancy fish cakes with like melt-in middles and things like that. Rebecca has trauma about fish cakes because she remembers eating fish cakes as a kid, and I'm guessing the ones that she had as a kid weren't that nice, so it's put her off nice fish cake. Even though you can buy nice, good quality, like Sainsbury's Taste the Difference ones with breaded fish cakes with the nice melt in the middle, she won't have any of it. So she's not into fish. Kids are also not really big on fish. They never order like anything fish based. They'll eat tuna with some pasta, like a tuna sweet corn pasta type thing, but again, tuna from a tin. They're not, and my eldest likes smoked salmon as well, like for breakfast or something on a bagel, whatever. But she's not. They're not big on. They're not huge on fish. We definitely more of a chicken, and mainly chicken household. I think we love chickens. So yeah, that's how it is. Um, Josh says, "Hi Z, really struggling for motivation lately. How do you get the mojo back? I know you struggle at times." Josh, that's a really good question. And it's hard. I'll be honest with you. It's really, really hard, Josh. It's a good question because I'm struggling for motivation right now. Um, 2023 has been a very tough year. And today was a really bad day mentally for me. We literally sold nothing in the shop, zero, which is, you know what, that's tough. The shop has really kind of had a bad year. Part of that is because we've not invested enough in stuff, but when you don't have the money, it's hard to invest. It's like a vicious circle type situation that we're in at the minute, and it's very difficult. It's very stressful, and yeah, it gets you down. Thankfully, like we've actually had some eBay sales today, which is nice. So I think we're on about £120 of eBay sales so far today, which is touch wood, that's good. Hopefully that will keep going. That's kind of motivating me a little bit, but it's difficult. I really do count a lot on Rebecca. Like we talk a lot, to the point of exhaustion sometimes. I've kind of tried to, whenever I'm getting like that, what kind of gets me out of the funk, obviously talk to your significant other if you've got one, friends or family. That's like number one, I would say. I think talking to people, like that whole thing about a problem shared is a problem halved and stuff. I really do think that having someone to speak to sound off, that you can talk to, is always important. I also feel, and this is really kind of, this is going to sound corny to some people, but I think learning to be grateful is something I'm still trying to do. It's a journey, but learning to be grateful, I think, is a huge thing. If you can learn to be grateful, like genuinely learn to be grateful for everything that you've got, I think that's massive. But that's not an easy thing to do. It's easy to say. It's like an easy soundbite. I learned to be grateful, you know. But when I say learn to be grateful, I mean in the context of the world, like in the context of, you know, like the fact that touchwood, I was born with functioning eyes and limbs. You know, touchwood, I haven't got any serious illness yet. The fact that I've lived, even if I got one now, the fact that I've managed to live 40 plus years without a serious illness, that in itself is like a massive positive. Just so, these little things that you can be grateful about, like you know, like waking up in the morning and seeing like sunrises, or at night when you see the stars on a clear night sky, the beautiful weather at the moment. You can, and I know this is all sounding very corny. I'm fully aware, but I genuinely feel that's one of the biggest ways I kind of kick myself out of being boohoo and a bit Eeyore-ish. I think it's very easy to become Eeyore-ish in the modern world, because obviously we're so fixated on improvement and trying to get better and trying to get more. You know, that's how we're wired, aren't we? Like, you want progress all the time. I think that's a very human thing. I don't think, but I think obviously it's been kind of manipulated to the point of excess. So I feel like there's always been like a, you know, like a hierarchy of needs, like, you know, like I remember the Maslow hierarchy of needs that people talk about. I remember Steve Jobs once mentioned it in one of his keynotes and talks about it, and I believe that is very true. It's within us as humans to want to improve, but I think it's now been manipulated to excess by everything that we've created, this network that we've created, this social society, the way it works. So I think it's always important to remember that although it's great to achieve more and more and more, like, if you can't be grateful for those things, the things that, in like being born in the UK, I know that's a touchy subject at the moment with everything going on with immigration and the government, but just, you know, just by being born here, that's a lotto ticket, isn't it? That is a lotto ticket. You don't need to win the lottery. You know, when people are like, oh, you know, I heard someone on the radio win 60 grand today. Like they did that whole thing. We make me a winner, and they broke down. They were like, wow, I've won 60 grand. It's like, that's amazing, and God knows what that person's going through. But being born in the UK alone is like a lotto win. It's kind of like, obviously, you know, you could have been born in the Sudan. You could have been born like in a war-torn. You could have been born like within the last 20 years. What if you were born in Afghanistan? What kind of life would you have? Like, what opportunities would be there for you? What would present itself? You know, God forbid, you know, you were born as you know, in one of those countries where like there's nothing, literally nothing. The infrastructure's not there. You just don't have any option. You know, we're lucky that we were born in this country, really, and that we have access to the things we've got access to. So I've gone on to off a bit of a tangent, but I'm just saying that I find things like that are really helpful, because you can easily wallow. Like, trust me, guys, I got into myself into a bit of a state earlier. Beck came to see me for lunch, and I was like boohooing pretty much. You know, she doesn't need that before she's going back on to work, and then she's got me boohooing about like the shop and like how bad it's been. And sometimes it's like that. Retail can be like that. Days that you don't expect to be good can be good, and on those days, funnily enough, you just take it. You're like, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good day, and then you just park it under. You know, you brush it away. You accept how good the day was, and then you just brush it away. But you hold on to the bad days, kind of like when you make, those of you that make any kind of content on YouTube or on Instagram or wherever, kind of like how you can get a bunch of positive comments. You might get like 100 positive comments, but if one person leaves a particularly nasty comment, or a comment that kind of touches you in a negative way, the funny thing about it is you're so much more likely to focus on that one nasty comment and give that more attention than the 100 lovely supportive comments. It's such a human thing to do that, and I think you've got to be aware of that and be like, don't focus on the one negative thing, focus on the positive. So if your business isn't going well, if your turnover is not going up year on year, yeah, okay, that's not great, of course it's not, but you've got so many other positives you could focus on, such as what you've learnt so far. See it as, you could even see the whole thing as a learning lesson. So, for example, my shop has done 0 sales today. We've had people in, but we've not sold anything today. But I can either focus on that like I have been and be a bit negative, or I can be like, but still, I've learned so much on this journey about running a shop or doing high street retail by myself, and dealing with all this new style of stuff, and just there's so many positives you can take from things as well. Like that whole every cloud has a silver lining. But that's just my kind of that's my little rant, I guess. But that's, I would say, just try to. And I know that's, I'm not saying it as in that's an easy thing to do, and it may not help you immediately. So, for example, it's not going to just change your life, but I think learning to be grateful for the little things, and putting it into context in the world that you're in, and also just look at the size of the world. Just look at how vast the planet is. Look at how vast the solar system is, and put yourself, get that context, and then you'll realize whatever happens to you is, in the scheme of things, so inconsequential that it just only matters to you. And yeah, of course, it can seem like the biggest thing because it's happening to you directly, but in the scheme of things, it's just not even a ripple. It's not even so. Put it in its place and be positive and move on. That sounds horribly cliche, but yeah. Well, what else are people saying? Hey, Night's Life, thanks for popping in. On sale at Aldi, says Michelle. Night's Life for Rich says, I have had no motivation for over 2 years now. It's not easy when bad stuff happens in life. I'm starting to get better now, though. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna knock you. Obviously, things do knock you, and you're allowed time to kind of cope with it. But that's how I feel. Eeyore is my spirit animal. But I have enough piglet in me to make me tolerable, says Michelle. I think that's just it. I think it's these little things make a difference. I think it's what you focus on. You can focus on. There's plenty of negative stuff I could focus on. But when I think about it, most of it is confined in the world of my business and stuff. Like, it's all to do with trying to work out how to be good at doing business, and cash flow, getting good at eBay, making my website work, making this shop work somehow. I don't know how, but that's where most of my problems are confined when I step back and look at it. On the other hand, I'm so lucky. I'm happily married. I've got 2 gorgeous girls, family that love me. I've got my health to compared to a lot of people, despite my minor ailments. I've got so much to be, I've got a gorgeous dog at home. He, bless him, he's not feeling well. He's hurt his back at the moment. He's moping and feeling so sorry for himself. I've got a gorgeous little putty cat as well. I've got a roof over my head, for God's sake. That alone, I should be so many pluses. I've got a car. Okay, yeah, it's a 2002 Honda CRV, but it's still a car, better than 0 car, and it does an amazing job. So many positives to take, depending on how you look at things. So that's just how I feel about that. So also, what else should we talk about? We can also talk about, if you have any questions and stuff, obviously please comment. It keeps the chat going. The other thing I want to talk about really is going to the eBay Open. That's another thing. That's so cool that's open to us. That's such a really amazing thing that eBay don't have to do these. But we're going to get to go to this event. Hopefully we're going to be surrounded by people in all different scenarios. There's going to be sellers there that are bigger than you, smaller than you, the same size as you. There's going to be people that are probably doing really well at the moment. There's probably people going that are doing awful at the moment. There's people that are just doing okay. All of those are going to be there. So you're going to have so much information to hopefully, and so much support hopefully. So I've got high hopes for this eBay Open, which is on the 14th. So yeah, it's one of those things that I'm kind of feeling like that's going to be quite interesting, because I've booked Beck and I in for the 1-to-1, and again, talking about how I see it, my first reaction of booking the 1-to-1 was, it's going to be an eBay shill telling me how the reason what I need to do is I need to promote and do promoted listings advance and give coupons and basically give away all my profits. That was my initial thoughts. Very negative, very, crappy really. And then I thought about it. I was like, why not listen to someone that is supposedly an expert? Like why not take in and see, they might come up with some nuggets that I've not thought of. Why not try this? Why not try before I kind of just, dismiss? And you never know what you're going to learn. And also, if I don't pick up anything from the one-to-one, I'm sure I'll pick up stuff from other people that are there. There's going to be, there's panels, there's going to be people talking. It's going to be quite motivational, I think. If you have someone standing in front of you, or you're lucky enough to have someone standing in front of you that is making it right now on eBay, that's doing really well, then it kind of is. It's going to have to make you look at yourself and be, and motivate you, because they're doing it right now. And I think in person you can get that across really well. Whereas I think online and on social media, sometimes people can take it as braggy, or they can take it as like, oh, is it really true? They can question and all that kind of stuff. But when it's in person like that, I think it's a bit more powerful, maybe, and maybe it'll come across correctly. Because I do feel most of the time when people share their successes online, I don't think people do it from a place of, hey, look at me, I'm bragging. Because I don't think people would want to get that kind of negative energy back. I think people genuinely post because they're pleased and they're proud of themselves, and they want other people to be proud of them, and also to be motivated by what they've been able to achieve, and hopefully be, send out some positive kind of attitude. So for example, I've been watching like Lex recently, and she really cheers me up. Lex does. She's amazing. If you want motivation, watch Lex. She's just a lovely person. And I love watching her vlogs because she's no nonsense. She doesn't go like, she's not like super hard, and she doesn't promote this super efficiency type hustle culture mentality or anything like that. She's very just, she just does her work, and she's reaping the benefits. She's actually taking the time to enjoy the labors of her work, and she's doing it all on eBay. So if you're having a rough time on eBay, just think that there's people out there like Lex, like so many others, that are doing it quite happily. And there's lots of people that aren't on social media, that aren't even talking about it, but they're making it happen on eBay. So be positive and think you've got opportunity to improve. So if you are having a rough time on eBay, like I've been having a pretty rough time this year on eBay as well. I've kind of let everything, this year has been a bit of a mess up. So I've got to redeem it. I've still got 3 months left of this year to kind of gather a bit of dignity, and just make things a bit better for myself, and make me realize actually, I can achieve a lot more than I have done by just having the right mindset. I'm liking Zen Z, says Susie. Thank you. Sometimes you have to be your own. I remember once again. It's all very well knowing lessons, but implementing them is the hard part. Like, everyone knows to be grateful. Everyone knows these things. It's not like rocket science. Everyone knows to work hard and things like that. But knowing it and implementing it in your life, like I know how to diet. I know how to eat healthy, but knowing it and doing it are two very different things. And I think once you can get to that point where you can actually implement these things, it helps a lot. So for example, sometimes, like I said, you do have to be your own piglet. Like, you've got to have that motivation in you at some point, because you're not always going to be able to rely on other people. And it was something I heard in a Jim Rohn speech many years ago now, where he was like, you need someone that you don't need to pump up every day. Do you know what I mean? Because what if the person needs pumping up every day and motivating every day? What if you're not there to motivate them? It's really important to figure out what makes you tick, what motivates you. And for me, being grateful is a great starting point. When I actually stop and I think of all the things that I am actually grateful for, that's what motivates me. And I think that from that point I can start building myself up and feeling more motivated and feeling more positive. So I would honestly suggest, if you are feeling down, if you don't have anyone to kind of motivate you, start off by looking at all the things that you're genuinely grateful for. Really study that, and when you start thinking about all the little things that you can be grateful for. Like, for example, like I said, having eyes that can see, having arms and legs, having fingers that work, even so many little things. Having teeth, for example. Even if you don't have all of them, in my case, but having some teeth is better than none, zero teeth, right? Having a tongue, all these, you can really start to be grateful for a lot of things. You can be grateful for electricity. You can be grateful for water, clean drinking water. And when you start realizing all the things that you can be grateful for if you choose to, you realize how much you have. And once you start realizing how much you have and you can appreciate how much you have, I find it a lot easier to then move on and be more positive to work on my other goals. Like the goal that I want to like achieve and get better at. That's how I feel about it. So I know that sounds so friggin' airy fairy, but hey. Are you able to make wholesale deals with other eBay sellers? Asked Michelle. I suppose if I suppose I could, but I'm not sure why I would. I'm not sure. I don't know if I follow. Or is that to help me get more sales or something? I don't know. Bold Finds James says hi all. Hi there, James. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I could do, I suppose, but right now I know there's a lot of potential for me to get my just to increase my eBay sales with just used items, like even just my used items, like just by listing regularly, for example. I've not even been doing that, you know what I mean? So like there's a lot I've been neglecting. So I've got a lot that I can just work on, and there's a lot of space for easy improvement. Like I'm sure I'm going to be able to make a lot of easy improvement. Like when you're like super overweight, if you suddenly stop eating, your weight loss at first is going to be a lot quicker, and then it tends to slow down when you get closer to your like ideal weight type thing. It's the same with this in a way. I feel like I've got a lot of room for quick kind of growth just by doing the basics, because I've not even been doing the basics, like just listing regularly. Like I've not even been doing that, so I need to get back to doing that. And I have started, and I've immediately started to see some more sales, and I just need to build that up again to a level that I'm happy with. And so yeah, that's just one of the things I can do right now before I even need to look at like wholesale type things. Um, I was thinking about sales and networking. Um, I think it depends. It depends what you mean, Michelle. Like when it comes to like wholesale, um, are you able to? Uh, I'm not sure. Like for example, I could go. What do you mean? Like go to a wholesaler and buy stuff from them, but then other people could just go directly to the wholesaler. I don't really have anything to wholesale. I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, maybe when I'm at this eBay meeting thing, maybe I can see what other people do regarding wholesale and selling wholesale. But um, wholesale about sales and networking, able to make wholesale deals with other eBay sellers. Like to buy off of them, to sell to them. Which one? Which one? I kind of feel like I I don't feel like I need to buy off of anyone because I've got access to wholesale, and obviously I've got car boots and I've got other sources as well which I can get stock. So I don't feel like I need to buy. I could potentially start selling to people that want certain things, because I'm starting to now get like wind of and access to like clearance lists and things which I wasn't aware of, or did not have access to previously. So I've started to get that. So I could potentially do that when but that requires cash flow because I'd want to be able to buy it in large amounts and that kind of stuff. But anyway, you're going to eBay Open and other people don't have the setup you have. Um, yeah, I mean, I suppose, Michelle. It's confusing. I'm gonna mute the mic quickly because I need to eat another bite. It's staring at me. This fish fillet. I was just making sure I'd swallowed it all. I've got a tendency of taking big bites, and sometimes I take a bite and it can make me hiccup like that, or worse, I start choking. So I might need to go get myself a drink. I'm gonna actually go and get myself a drink. No, no, no. It's going down. It's going down. We're good. We're good. See, that could happen. You know, that's happened to people. They choke to death on their food. I'm grateful for not choking to death yet on my own food. That's another thing to be grateful for. And trust me, I've come close a couple of times. I'm so terrible. I just don't. If Rebecca was there, she'd be like, chew your fucking food. You know. So I need to chew my food more. So yeah. Hi, I just got home from Aldi, says BCP. Take another Z, says Bold Finds. Thank you for popping in, BCP. I hope your Aldi shop was a success. The thought of going to Aldi on a hot, sunny Friday, that's going to be rough. I'm sure it was ram-packed. So yeah. There is a joke to be had about the positive messages coming in this video, and then a silent pause while we watch him chew, but it's not coming to me. I'm not sure what that is, what that joke could be, Susie. But you know, I'm sure there is a joke to it. That was really nice. That that sandwich is really really good. I highly recommend fish finger with tartar sauce. Like a budget filet fish. Right, what else have I got to talk about? I have, like I said, I've been starting to keep myself pretty busy. In terms of getting photographs taken, I found I need to just make sure I've got photographs taken. If I've got loads and loads and loads of photographs, I can do listings quite easily. I find that's my Achilles heel, as it were, is sitting down and taking a bunch of photos. That's what I need to be doing. So that's going to be my kind of aim. And when I go to this eBay open, I'm going to be really transparent with the one-to-one person. Be like, just help me get good. Just teach me the basics. Look at my store. Just tell me what else I can do. I mean, I'm sure one of the things is going to be to like maybe just list more, or who knows. I don't know. Then again, there are plenty of super successful stores with a very small inventory, so I don't think it's just about inventory. I'm currently on about 230 listings, something along those lines. Still, like I said, I think we had like 3 or 4 sales today, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna just keep myself focused. That's what I need to do. Focused photos, and I'm sure I will be able to pull myself back up into a more positive space when it comes to eBay, and then I think that will then help my mindset with the shop. And everything else. It all goes together. It was quiet in there for a change, says BCB. Oh, was it? That's good. That's weird that it's quiet. I thought it would be heaving with everyone buying like their supplies for Friday evening. I've already been to Sainsbury's and picked up some like snacks and drinks for tonight, so Beck and I can have a little chill out. I don't know what we're going to do. Probably just do our own separate things, but at least have something to eat and drink, which would be nice. And then tomorrow is obviously going to be car boot first thing. There's a lot of car boot options tomorrow. I've got to decide which car boot I'm going to go to. I always find that difficult. Unfortunately, I'm in an area where all the car boots we have, they're not staggered, which makes it annoying because you basically have to choose one, because whichever one you choose, they all allow access onto the field around the same time. They all say slightly different times, but it's irrelevant. They all allow access from like 6 o'clock in the morning, pretty much. You can just get out there and be on the field in front of sellers at 6 a.m. So you kind of have to just choose which of the 3. So I've got St. Michael's, Norcross, and Greenhall car boots tomorrow. I'm tempted to go to St. Michael's because that's the closest, where I always end up going. But part of me thinks going to Norcross could be a good option because you have to pay a £5 to get in. And I know that sounds silly. Why would you go somewhere where they charge a £5 to get in? But my thinking is, it might be less kind of reseller competition because they're all going to go to. A lot of people will go because, like I've done it as well, where you'll go where it's free entry. So Greenhouse and St Michael's are free entry for buyers, and it's like an even playing field. You just get on the field at the same time as the sellers, pretty much. Whereas Norcross charges £5 for you to get in with the sellers, and everyone else has to wait an hour. And in that hour, you can do some serious damage. You can really do some serious damage in terms of buying. So, and I feel like most people are going to be going to the free car boots as opposed to the pay for car boot. But then the pay for car boot for me, although, is also the furthest from me as well. So part of me is like, I could just go to my nearest, which is St Michael's. So that's what I'm thinking about. I walked there and back, so I have a tomato face as BCB. You walked, wow. That's good. Keeping healthy. Walking is something I would like to do more of as well. But I've got to be careful. I've got to keep, I've got to just look after myself really, generally. In this weather as well, though, you've got to be careful when you're out and about walking. Lots of people can end up getting heat stroke without knowing it and stuff like that. So, yeah. But yeah, those are the things that are really on my mind, to be honest, about tomorrow, car boot stuff, and about being a bit more kind of positive. What else can we talk about? Anything else, or I'm just going to call it. I've been gassing for nearly 40 minutes. I still have half my sandwich to go. You can't even see it because the ISO is too high. But yeah, I'm going to eat the rest of this sandwich, I think. And my fish burger. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and just have a little chat with you because I'm waiting to pick up Beck. I've got she finishes at like 6:30, so that will give me some time to do some more photos as well. And tomorrow will be car boot kind of stuff. Thank you for you guys that are in the chat, over 20 of you, which I'm really, really impressed by, to be honest with you. I've not made many videos on this channel recently. And again, that's been down to like mood and things like that. So I need to really I need to practice what I've preached today, so that I can be a bit more constructive and positive just generally. So yeah. And you were only just getting into your stride, says the coffee. You know what? I really appreciated the coffee, but I need to get my head fully fixed so I can start being more regular with the videos and the live streams. I used to go live quite a lot. I think there was a point I was going live almost daily. I used to love just popping on live in the evening, having a chat with you guys. But I suffer from moods just like everyone. And although I've preached about how to get out of moods, I feel like I'm still learning all that stuff myself. So it's always learning. It's been many years and I've still been learning. I've been talking about moods since I started the channel. I'm pretty sure one of my first videos was about moods and how to deal with them. But it's easy to say the things, but to implement them is always harder. Good luck at the car boot, says BCP. In it to bye Z. See you later, Susie. I still miss the Friday chin wags, but I get it. Maybe in time I'll get my head sorted, Susie. I would love to do them. Beck would like to do them as well. But you've got to be in a happy place. You've got to be in the right place. But I really do appreciate it. See you guys soon. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. I'll hopefully be a bit more regular at some point. I meant in streams, not like bowel movements or anything like that. So yeah, bye.